Hi, I'm Michelle Rasich. I'm the Director of College Counseling at Roland Hall in Salt Lake City, Utah. And this is a Learn a Latte workshop on reconsidering your letters of rec for high school counselors. This is a presentation that I've collaborated on with many people and have presented at RMACAC spring conferences and also at the Association for College Counselors in Independent Schools. And I'm happy to share this information here with all of you. So this whole idea got started through my own kind of unrest with my own letters of recommendation. And I heard tales from faraway lands that there were college counselors out there who were writing letters of recommendation with headers and bullet points versus the traditional narrative. And I started asking lots of questions because I was so excited and intrigued by this idea. So, on a bus tour across this great state of Montana, great shout out to our PNACAC friends and colleagues, I started asking questions of other college counselors about these types of letters. And I also collaborated with some of them to move forward on some research. So one of my colleagues from Swickley Academy in Pennsylvania, he volunteered to survey not only members of Access, but also some of the representatives that he did a lot of work with and had close relationships with. So it was really interesting. The question was the percentage of college admission reps and Access college counselors that believed the following items are essential in a counselor letter of recommendation. And you can see the blue are the college reps and the red are the high school counselors at independent schools. And there was some interesting data that came out of here. Also, the data regarding non-cognitive skills and information and quality of character, special circumstances that college reps were affirming that they really wanted to see. So we moved forward. At Roland Hall, I spent the next fall discussing the admission realities with reps during their fall travel. We would have a little bit of time at the end of a visit, and I was asking them about the growing number of applications and whether or not their staffing had increased, which, as you can imagine, at many schools it had not, and the overall kind of feeling that there was less time to cover more ground, and that a lot of reps were reporting that they were reading 65 to 70 apps a day during regular decision reading. That leaves just a few minutes per, 6, 10, 15 minutes per application folder. And here I was spending hours and hours and hours writing these letters of recommendation. So I thought something is out of whack. I'm spending all this time, I'm wrestling with the traditional narrative with prose and flow and transitions, and really starting to wonder if my traditional narrative letters were the best format for both the readers and myself. So I set out on my own survey quest. I surveyed reps that were different than my colleague in Pennsylvania because our destination for our applications was different. So it was great to have his data from his neck of the woods, but then also I needed to survey my reps where many of our applications are going. And so you can see a list of some of the schools that I surveyed. We also reached out to national merit readers and also presidential scholar readers. And what we did is with the survey, we also provided them a draft template of the new letter of rec so that they were actually responding to something and giving us some feedback. So here's a sample counselor letter format. You can see the header distinctive qualities, which I was using. The idea was that that would be a paragraph narrative, kind of like the old narratives where we would share stories, anecdotes, personal experiences with the students. It was really important, I knew, not to lose those sections of a letter. And so that up front, top and center. Academic growth or trends, or academic and intellectual growth and trends. We all know that for some students or for some highly selective institutions, it's not just the academic piece, but also that intellectual piece. And so depending on who we're writing for, we'll use a version of that header. This is where we describe growth and trends, and we include in examples of their intellectual growth and trends if they exist. Info and context not found on the transcript goes here, illnesses, unusual absences, learning differences, and we try to use data to put the student in the context of the class. Whether or not we offer quotes from other teachers who are not writing letters of rec, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We know there are those other letters of rec from the teachers in the file, and so we try to really focus it on information that's unique and not found anywhere else in the application. Areas of impact is where the extracurricular information goes for a student. Also, again, trying to put it into context within the class and the school whenever data can be used and can be helpful. And finally, the student's self-reflection piece. We grab that and actually pull it straight from the student questionnaire. We ask them questions where they do self-reflection, and we will include that information here. And you can see at the very bottom that the first year that I actually put this format into use, I put a note at the bottom. Nobody actually acted on that note and reached out to me, although I thought it was important and felt it was important to include that so that they saw that this was something that I was experimenting with. So after they saw that letter came to the reps with these survey questions. And this was 3 years ago in 2013, and I was very low tech. So I just sent them an email, and these are the questions in the email that I asked them. Roland Hall survey results, we had 13 out of the 15 reps respond, which emailing them in June at the end of a busy cycle and year proved to be a really good time of year to email them because I got results through the month of June and July. And they were really very gracious and very upfront, forward, and giving with their responses. The responses were so overwhelmingly encouraging that there was no question in my mind that I was going to move forward with this new format. I shared the results with only the principal and head of school. It was really intended to be an internal data collection, and it wasn't anything that we ever share or talk about really with parents or students. We figure that this is a communication piece and mechanism between the counselor and the college reps. So that's how we used the survey data as well. After the first year of using the format, I checked in with reps during spring counselor calls. And here is some of the information that I got back. I'll let you take a minute and you can read some of these testimonials. And here are some additional testimonials. So you can see why I was so encouraged to move forward and to share this information with other college counselors. After 3 years, honestly, there's no question for me and for my colleague in my office that this format is a win-win-win. It's a win for the students because I really feel that I am communicating and advocating in a stronger way with these letters and conveying that information to readers. For the readers, it's a win. You could see it in those testimonials. And for me, I just have the peace of mind that I went through this process and I surveyed, a slew of different reps and got information back from them regarding the content of the letters and how to present it best. And for me, it's a faster process because I'm not worried about transitions or prose or one paragraph connecting strongly to another paragraph. And it allows me the flexibility to go in and out of a letter over many, many weeks of time without losing the quality of the content. So it's been a really great transition for us. If you're interested, I encourage you to informally or formally survey your college reps, and I imagine you'll hear information and feedback that is just as encouraging as what we received at Roland Hall. And then check in with your administration, make sure that you have their support to move forward with the data and survey results, and then all you have to do is start writing. As you can imagine, after presenting at a couple of conferences on the counselor letter of rec, the next question was, well, what about teacher letters of rec? Have you done any work on that? And so I have. And to see the results of that survey and what our teachers at Roland Hall are saying about the format that they now use, check out the Reconsidering Teacher Letters of Rec in the Learn a Latte library. If you have any questions about counselor letter of recs or the work that we did, don't hesitate to contact me, and happy writing.